Hello everyone, I am here with a really exciting book haul. I finally got my order. I got about 20 books from Bookoutlet.ca, which is an online Canadian bookstore here, and if you spend over $45 Canadian, you get free shipping. They have such good prices. And I think till the 20th, today's 18th, so until August 20th, I believe they have buy two get one free, so I'll probably get more. But there's some books that I really wanted to get, and they were such a good price, and I was able to get some that had been on my list. And also I went to the Asian supermarket, had to get a few things, and in the same plaza is a Value Village. And this one's absolutely huge thrift store. It used to be an old Sears outlet. It's absolutely huge, so I was able to get some books for a really good price there also. So I'll start with the books that I did get at the thrift store, Value Village, and they were anywhere from, I think, $3 to $6 or something like that. But they were in very good shape. As you can see, there's hardly any wear and tear on the spines and that, and they were in really good shape. So I'll go through what I got there first. This first one is She Lies in Wait by Geetha Lodge. And this takes place originally in 1983. A group of teenagers go camping. They wake up in the morning and the youngest is missing. So they do an exhaustive investigation, but her body is never found. And then 30 years later, her body is found. And then they reopen the case and investigate it there. This one is an English ghost story by Kim Newman. And someone actually originally bought this at Giant Tiger. So if you have a Giant Tiger near you in Canada, they do have some really good books for a good price. So this is English ghost story, and it's the Nairmores are a dysfunctional British nuclear family. They want to solve their problems, start a new life in the sleepy Somerset countryside. The house seems very perfect at first, and then let me see here. Oh, as they grow closer, the house kind of turns on them, so it's kind of a spooky little thriller there. And this is called The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, and I'm not sure if I've read any of her books. This takes place in the Scottish wilderness, remote Scottish wilderness, a New Year's reunion. There's the group of people, the beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider. One of these friends is a murderer, and one won't make it out alive. So yes, it takes place in the Scottish wilderness. So yeah, I love those kind of murder mysteries that take place in the UK. And the last one was Find You in the Dark by Nathan Ripley. Now this one really sounds intriguing. So this fellow called Martin, he's been illegally buying police files over the years and on serial killers, and using the information to locate long lost victims. After he uncovers the body, he calls the police anonymously and taunts them with his fine. So he sees his work as a public service. So he's trying to find the body of his sister-in-law, who was murdered by the serial killer. So he's investigating that, but at the site he's shocked to discover a fresh body lying among decades-old remains. And yeah, so the police are trying to find out who are making these anonymous calls and finding all these bodies that weren't found. So yeah, it really sounds intriguing. So I did get about 20 books from Book Outlet, and some of these I have been waiting for, and I saw them at a really good price and just snatched them up. So the first one is by Preston and Childs, and I mentioned these authors before. They're two authors who write the books together, and this is an Aloysius Pendergast novel, who's a very eccentric, very fascinating character who's an FBI agent. And this is just another one of his books. They can be standalone books. I think probably to get to know the characters better. I was kind of start at the beginning, but they can be a standalone book. But I just absolutely love his character and how he investigates and that. And the other one I've heard a lot about is called No Exit by Taylor Adams. So yeah, I've heard a lot about this on BookTube, so I did want to get it. It's a full throttle thriller, swift, sharp, and relentless. So I heard it's very fast paced. So this woman is a college student, is on her way to see her mother who's dying of cancer. She's caught in a blizzard in Colorado Rockies. So she's forced to wait out the storm in a highway rest stop with these other people. And there's no cell reception. At one point she goes out to her car to see if she can make a call. And she notices in the vehicle next to her car, there is a girl locked in an animal crate. So she's like, okay, who's this child? Who does she belong to? What's going on? So she has no choice but to go back into the rest stop and figure out, like, who's responsible for this child. So it's supposed to be a very good book. Another one I'm very excited about is this Hannah Kent novel called Burial Rites. And I just, on my last review, I did her previous book called The Good People that takes place in the countryside of Ireland. And yeah, I just really was excited to get this one because I absolutely love The Good People. So this takes place in Iceland, and this woman is charged with the murder of 2 men. And so she is sent to an isolated farm in northern Iceland to await execution. And the family that has to kind of look after her till her execution is not happy that she's there. But there is a priest that suspects that she is innocent, and she helps to investigate what really happened. So yeah, I just really love her characters and the atmosphere. You really feel like you are in that place at the time. She's very good at describing things, so very excited to get that one. And then I got another Tana French, The Secret Place. She does detective novels. They take place in Ireland, the Dublin areas. I just absolutely love her characters and how she writes. And this one is, this fellow is part of the Dublin murder squad. And one day a 16-year-old comes in with a photo she found and is connected with a murder that took place previously in that. But I just really like her writing style and her mysteries. And this one, oh boy, I am just like, oh, I got goosebumps. I'm so excited to get this one. It's by Minette Walters. Now, she usually does murder mysteries, but her previous book was The Last Hours, and it took place in the 1300s during the Black Plague, and it took place in this village town and how they coped with the Black Plague. And there's a lot of dynamics going on with people in that town and village, and some of them go out to see what's happening, because of course they didn't have social media back in the 1300s, and they're thinking, like, what's going on? Is there other people that are alive? Like, what's happening? So this this is the sequel to The Last Hours, called The Turn of Midnight. So yeah, it was kind of a cliffhanger in a way, because I really wanted to know what happened to these people. I was very invested in their characters. I really wanted to know what happened. It was just such a good book. Now, I don't know if this got quite as good reviews as her first book, but it doesn't matter, because I just really loved the other books. So happy, very happy to get that one. And this is Kate Moss, The Burning Chambers, and this is just a humongous book. Now, I think the cheapest book I got was a hardcover for $3.50, and then I think the most I spent on any of these books, I think, was $10, maybe at the most. But yeah, this puppy is big. Now, I did read her book called Labyrinth quite a few years ago, and I really remember enjoying it. think it was the Cathars. I think the Roman Catholic Church was after them, and if they didn't, they were a religious group, but the Roman Catholic Church didn't believe in how they interpreted the Roman Catholic philosophy or whatever, and the Roman Catholic Church said either you convert or we'll kill you. So that was about Labyrinth. So this is taking place in France during 1562 as the war of religion begins to take hold. A courageous Catholic woman and a passionate Huguenot believer find themselves united in the possession of a priceless relic and set upon a quest to uncover a long-buried secret in the haunting chateau in the foothills of the Pyrenees and that. So, yeah, I really did like Labyrinth, so, yeah, this is going to be quite the nice read. Alrighty, so this one is called Women of the Dunes by Sarah Main, and the cover is just absolutely stunning, and this takes place, about 2 generations of Scottish women. So I believe the first is an 8th century Norse woman, and I think this is maybe one that kind of goes back and forth in the present to the past, but the 8th century, I mean, oh, I just love that old, ancient kind of novel. So yeah, this one sounded so good, taking place in Scotland, and again, that label's absolutely stunning. Another Scottish one, and you can tell with all the tartan there. Again, very beautiful, beautiful covers. Yeah, so this takes place, Small Death in the Great Glen by A.D. Scott, and oh, it takes place in a small town in Scotland in the 1950s, and events surround the death of a young boy. So, yeah, the summary really sounds good. And this is The Bookshop of Brokenhearted by Robert Hillman, and I do like books that take place in bookshops. And this takes place in 1968 in rural Australia, and this woman arrives from Hungary and she wants to open a bookstore, and this gentleman is recently abandoned by his wife and he has a son. So anyway, they end up having a relationship, and I believe, yeah, she was a prisoner in Auschwitz before too, so yeah, sounds very, very good. This is a hardback by Hazel Gaynor. It's called The Lighthouse Keeper's Daughter, and it takes place in 1838 in Northumberland. This woman lives in a lighthouse with her father, and they rescue some survivors from a shipwreck, and she becomes famous. And then it jumps to 1938 in Rhode Island about a 19-year-old who is sent from her home in Ireland to stay with her as a reclusive relative and keep her at Rose Island Lighthouse. So yeah, it takes place in a couple time periods, which I do like, and this is, I think this is the book that was like $3.50 as hardback, by Carolyn Lee. It's called The Glass Woman, and this takes place in Iceland also, and it takes place quite a few years ago. I just don't know the exact time period, but this woman's father dies and her mother is quite ill, and she has to secure her future, so she ends up marrying this visiting trader, and she ignores the dark rumors about what happened to his first wife, so she has to journey across Iceland to live with this fellow at a secluded home near the sea, and she is very lonely. Her husband's not home too much, and spooky things go on at the house, and she starts to uncover kind of what happened to the previous wife and that. So that sounds so good. Oh, these ones are just, I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start, which one to read first. Jane Harper, The Survivors. So I don't believe I've read any of hers that I know of. So Kieran Elliott, his life has changed forever on the day a reckless mistake leads to devastating consequences. So he feels quite guilty. He returns home to a coastal community. His parents are struggling in the town. And then there's an absent brother called Finn, and when a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge. So I've heard very good reviews about this one. And then this is Bone Deep by Sandra Ireland, and again a very atmospheric kind of cover on there. So this woman is a retired academic and writer, and she's working on a new collection of folk tales inspired by local legends, and she hires a new assistant to help her out. Her son doesn't know that his mother is determined to keep the secrets of her past from being discovered. And then Lucy, the assistant, has secrets of her own. So very strange, eerie things are happening. And then these two women, I guess, sounds like they're kind of button heads or something. But that is Bone Deep. And this is The Curse of Misty Wayfair by Jamie Jo Wright. And a very spooky, creepy looking cover there. So this takes place about 100 years ago, and it jumps into the future. So this, maybe 100 years ago, this woman is an orphanage, and she wants to find her mother. So her search takes her to a turn-of-the-century mental asylum in Wisconsin. And then a century later, this character called Heidi, and don't get too many characters called Heidi, receives a troubling letter from her mother who is battling dementia, and that compels her to travel to Pleasant Valley for answers to her own identity. So there is some supernatural paranormal stuff involved also. And this is The Ice Princess by Camilla Lockberg, and she is a Swedish writer. And this woman returns. There's a grisly death in the dark heart of a Scandinavian seaside village, and this woman returns to the tiny remote hometown in Sweden, and she finds her childhood friend who has committed suicide. And then she just begins to uncover what's happened in this village and all the secrets that have been held and that sort of thing. So yeah, I really like those murder mysteries that take place in those small towns and villages. This is by Eve Chase, Black Rabbit Hall. And Amber knows that the hours pass differently at Black Rabbit Hall, her London family's Cornish country house, where no two clocks read the same. More than 3 decades later, she's determined to be married within the hall among locals, but she soon finds secrets out, and she wants to find out about the past of this manor. There's a lot of secrets that are kind of hidden in that. So yeah, I like those creepy kind of mysteries that take place in these old manors and castles and that. Bentley Little, The Haunted. I haven't read one of his books in years. This couple and their children move into a bigger, nicer home in the city's historic district, but yeah, the house starts acting strangely. So yeah, I haven't read one of his for a long time. And the last one is The Dark Lake by Sarah Bailey. And so this fellow is a homicide detective in a rural town, and he's trying to solve a murder. So yeah, I think I'm running out of battery. So anyway, I better leave it at that. But yes, Bookoutlet.ca for Canadians who love books. I do have a Kindle, but if I can get my hands on a old traditional book, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll buy off my Kindle, but there's just something about hanging on to a book. So I hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these, let me know, or give me any suggestions which ones I would enjoy. So everyone take care, happy reading, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.